Hi there, it's Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is the card that we are going to be creating today, and here's the stamp set with the matching dies. And before I take them off the plastic backing sheet, the stamps, the matching dies actually match up completely perfectly with where the stamps are placed. So bearing that in mind, I'm going to keep them all right where they are. And I have my little mini Misty here, so I'm just going to remove all of the magnets, and I am going to attach the whole stamp sheet, so without taking any of the stamps off the backing acetate, and I'm just using some washi tape to adhere the whole thing down to the lid of my Misty. This here is a piece of 48-pound vellum. So it's a really heavyweight vellum, and this is from, I think I got it from simonsaysstamp.com. I'm using a little bit of the EK Success powder tool, so the anti-static powder tool, to stop any little bits of embossing powder sticking where they shouldn't be. And then I just have a sticky ink pad here. This is just like Versamark or a Watermark Resist, or there's lots of companies who make these sticky ink pads for embossing things. And then I'm going to stamp the whole thing down on the vellum. So of course the vellum has stuck to it because it's sticky ink. And then I'm going to use some Wow opaque white, bright white, super fine embossing powder. And I'm just going to emboss all of these little flowers. I actually did end up off camera embossing some more, stamping and embossing. I think I did a couple more flowers just because I wasn't 100% sure of the design of how my card was going to go, and I wasn't sure if I was going to need more than one of each of the flowers. But I really like this stamp set. And in the top left hand corner here you can see like a little stem, and then those little flowers, the tiny wee flowers. They are super cool little ones when I stamp them out. I've been using them and really enjoying them. So I did actually end up snipping apart some of my dies because it didn't quite fit as I needed it to. So I've just pulled apart the ones that I want, and I want that extra little leaf up there. And then I will end up running this through my die cutting machine. I think I ended up doing it twice because I didn't need those flowers there on the left hand side. So everything pops out perfectly with the vellum. It cuts really easily, and here is how they look now. And so from here, this is where I end up changing my mind lots with the card, which is not unusual for me. This is some slate cardstock, and this piece is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but I wanted about 2 inches or so. And then of course I am going to have a little card front, which I think is about 4 by 5 1/4, just so it gives a little border. So this is about 5 1/4 by 2 inches or so, this piece that I have right now. And I was thinking I wanted the top edge to kind of be decorated in these die cuts. But when I kind of put them out here, I didn't like how you could see half the slate through it and the other half was kind of on the white. So here I have a piece of fog cardstock, which is like a really light grey, and again you can see that it's got a white border, so it's about 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have the larger piece of cardstock here that I cut from that slate piece. So I think this one is about 2.5 inches or so tall. Then this is one of my favourite stamp sets. It's an old one and it's from AliExpress. I will try and link it down below, and I just love the font and the simplicity of the sentiments in this. This one says thinking of you, and I'm just going to stamp it with a little acrylic block and some VersaFine Onyx black ink. Then I'm just using some double-sided tape to adhere down this little panel, and the panel is going to sit kind of closer to the top, up above that sentiment. And then from here I'm just going to adhere down the whole card front to the card. The card is made of 110-pound Nina Solar White, and just because I know that the flowers are going to have some foam tape and things, so I didn't want to be adhering it down afterward. So now I'm kind of just laying them out across the front of the card. And again, this is not my original idea, but it's kind of evolved to be like this. And most of my cards end up evolving somewhere throughout the process. I am trying to use up some of my glues at the moment and things, so I'm actually using some foam squares. These are from AliExpress, and some glossy accents of all things to adhere down some of this vellum. Now I am using foam tape behind these, however, because of the white embossing powder, you can't see the foam tape, so it is still hidden. And of course you can't see the glossy accents because most of it is hidden behind the flowers. And I'm just cutting down some of the leaves and branches and twigs and things so that they just fit better with my little arrangement here. That is pretty much my card for today. I really like this one for some reason. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye!